What's up, guys? I'm gonna do another knife review, and it's a knife that I've expressed my love for many times on my channel, but I've never done an actual review on it, so figured why not do one. One thing I want to say, if you watch Pavlov Sandor's channel, you know they're looking for a laptop and they're having no luck. I actually just messaged them and they got back to me saying they had not yet found a laptop. I had an idea about setting up a PayPal account for them and then seeing, like, I would match maybe 25, 50, I don't know. I would put in a sum, at least $25, and then I have 600 subscribers. If just 500 of y'all put in just $1, then that would be 525 bucks. And that would be nearly the cost of a good laptop these days. So I think if like me and one other channel came together to do that, we could probably buy them a laptop. So I don't know. I've just broke 600 subscribers, and I figured why not try and use it for something good. See if we can get them a laptop, because they seem to really need one. So let me know what you think about that. See if we can get that done. Just chime in and say, yeah, I would help out or I wouldn't, so I have an idea of how many people would participate. Anyway, on to the knife review. Ignore all these. I'm talking about the stretch today. Spyderco stretch, and specifically the ZDP-189 version. I chose the ZDP version because the steel is one of the things that I actually like about this knife, or love about this knife. If you've seen my test, ZDP is an amazing steel, and I'll probably just link that test video somewhere up in here. ZDP is a really amazing steel. I'll get to that later, but I just want to go over the pros and cons of it. Some of the pros, probably the main thing that sticks out to me is the ergonomics. I mean, it's one of the most comfortable knives that I've ever felt. It just seems to melt in my hand. I mean, it fits my hand literally. If I were to just grip in this position and think of the perfect knife handle, it would fall into this grip, if that makes sense. I mean, it's intuitive that my hand wraps around and the thumb just lands there, and there's nowhere that feels out of place. I mean, none of my fingers feel out of place or like they're being forced to lay in any position. It's just comfortable, and even choking up on it, it's still comfortable. I mean, it may be the most comfortable knife I've ever gripped. I can't say that definitively, but if it's not the most comfortable knife, it's in the top 3. Even in reverse grip, it just seems to fit your hand like a glove. I mean, it's amazing how comfortable this knife is. And choking up, I mean, you've got a good profile for a hunter. I mean, I think Sal actually modeled this after a hunting knife. Not positive, don't quote me on that. The handles are grippy. This bidirectional texturing is actually really, really grippy. It's not like G10, but it almost feels like the handles are jimped, if that makes sense. They are very grippy, but there is a con that I'll get to later. It does have a mid-lock, which some people don't like. I have no problem with it, especially on this knife. It just seems to fit it well. There's not much else you can do with FRN handles, so I mean, you're going to have a mid-lock or a back lock, something like that. I guess you could do a liner lock, but this knife is really slim and it would be hard to fit a liner lock in here. So the back lock is good. It doesn't have any vertical play. I mean, if you really wrench on it, you can feel a minuscule amount of vertical play, but it's just in use, you're not going to feel anything. It's still really solid, even though it's a mid-lock. Does come with a really nice pocket clip. I really, really do like this pocket clip design. I like the black color on it, even though it doesn't match anything else. I mean, nothing else on this knife is black but the clip, so that's kind of strange. But it does have really good retention, and it won't chew up your pocket clips because this little smooth spot right here is also on the reverse side, and that's where the clip contacts the handle. So you have a nice smooth spot to slide the knife in and out on. It's actually, it works really well. It doesn't chew up your pants at all. It is screw together construction, which some of the FRN knives aren't, and that's a deal breaker for me. I really want the knife to be screwed together because I want to be able to adjust it and take it apart if need be. I know that voids the warranty, but sometimes it's a problem you can fix yourself, and it's nice to be able to do that. I don't think I'll ever buy a knife that is not screw together construction. That's how important it is to me. You do have 4 clip options. You have tip up, tip down, left, right hand, so that's no problem there. Probably the biggest pro to me on this knife is the blade steel and the blade shape. I mean, that blade shape is perfect for cutting. I mean, it's literally a cutting machine. It's one of the best cutters I own as far as V-edges go. It's a nice thin grind, as you can see. I mean, the blade profile is really thin, and it's really thin near the apex of the edge. And if you lay the edge back like I've done here, it's just a supreme cutter. I mean, there's no way of getting around it. It's a great cutter. It has a nice big belly. It's not a sharp belly like on the Sebenza or anything. It's just a gradual. I mean, the belly starts way back here and just sweeps up, and that's perfect for cutting. I mean, pretty much any kind of cutting, especially on a cutting board. You have this belly region right here that you can do draw slices on, and you don't have to angle the knife up to get to the belly. So I really enjoy that. ZDP-189 holds its edge almost as long as S90V. It actually beat S90V in my test, but totally different blade geometry, so I can't really say that it was the steel that did that. So you just need to watch the ZDP test video that I linked to before and check that out for yourself. It does hold its edge for a long time. And if you've never used a so-called super steel, then you would be really surprised after using this knife for a while. I mean, it really is a supreme edge holder. One of the cons, you could say, I guess, is the price. It's about $110, $115, but for that price you get a paramilitary 2, and you're getting G10 and a compression lock. So some could argue that the price is a con, and some could say that the price is a pro because you are getting a really nice thin blade with a premium steel. So I can't really say that the price is a pro or a con because that's going to be subjective, but I personally think that it's a fairly good deal for what you're getting. I mean, you're getting a nice big knife with a comfortable handle and an excellent blade. And I buy my knives for the blade. I mean, that's the most important part to me. So $115 is not a bad price tag for me. One thing about the handles that I know is a con is that they're kind of flimsy. The FRN, no matter how strong it may be, is just flimsy. Even with these steel liners, it's still flimsy. I want to show you. Look at the blade, how you see it centered. Just a little bit of pressure. I'm not even putting that much pressure on this. I mean, it makes the blade move around in the handles like crazy. And there's just really no getting around that. When you have the knife open, even if you don't have a lot of blade play, you still have a lot of flex in the handle. So it just kind of feels flimsy. Which, to me, that's not a problem because I know this isn't a hard use knife and you're not going to be out there prying with it or anything. But for some people, it feeling flimsy is going to be an issue. If you're buying this knife for anything other than just cutting, you'll probably be disappointed. The origin may be a point of contention for some people. It's Seki City, Japan. It's not made in the USA, which I've already done a video on this. I could care less if it's not made in the USA. Of course, I'll buy USA when I can, but I'm not going to miss out on an excellent knife like this just because it's made in Japan. So I think that's pretty much it. To me, there's way more pros than cons on this knife. It's it's just an excellent all-around knife. Definitely a good EDC. Forgot to hit on the weight. It is a very, very light knife for the size. Extremely light knife, actually. This little Native 5 weighs a good bit more than this Stretch, and it's a pretty big difference in size. So the weight, that's one of the the pros of the FRN handles, is they're extremely light, and the nice thin steel liners they have in this knife just keep the weight down. So if you're looking for a good EDC knife that'll hold its edge for a good long time, then this is definitely something that you're going to want to look into. So anyway, I think that's about it. Don't forget to let me know what you think about setting up a PayPal account for Pavlov, so we can move on from there. So thanks everybody who watches my videos. Like I said, I did just break 600 subs, so I really appreciate you. You guys that have been with me from the beginning, which wasn't too long ago in actuality, and thank you guys who are just now subbed to me. I appreciate everybody equally. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.